Hi, Rich Carrubba for bowlingball.com. Let's discuss bowling terminology. First, in order for you to access or reference all kinds of terms about bowling terminology, simply go to the bowling terms feature on our website for a complete list of terminology relevant to the many bowling related topics. And then simply click on the bowling terms under the help column on the home page here at bowlingball.com, and you can click alphabetically to gain access to literally more than 100 useful bowling terms. But let's talk about just a few today that I think are very important for you to understand pertaining to a bowling ball. For example, radius of gyration, RG, differential of RG, track flare potential, hook potential, length potential. And these are the terms that we hear a lot and manufacturers actually use when they describe bowling balls. So when you're in your process of deciding which ball to pick up next, you'll have a little better understanding of what these terms relate to and how they can help you. First of all, RG, radius of gyration, it's a layman's term. What we want to do is find out when the ball gets into its strongest rolling pattern. On heavy oil, you want a ball to roll real strongly as quickly as possible in the front third of the lane, wouldn't you? So a ball with an aggressive cover stock, an aggressive reactor resin cover stock typically matches well for that, and a low RG combination. Now, medium RG balls, which are really good to read the lane with, you can really get a nice even arc and a smooth ball reaction with medium RG. Simply means the ball picks up its strongest roll in the mid part of the lane as it approaches the break point. So it's very dependable when it's going to make its turn or its move toward the pocket. And finally, a high RG ball, well, that's a good on dry lanes, isn't it? Because it's going to save its energy till it gets down the lane toward the break point, and then it will hook and roll effectively on the back end of the lane. Now, when we talk about the RG factors, differential comes into play next because it's the reference of when the ball, how sharply the ball breaks once it arrives at the break point to the pocket. So a high differential ball hooks sharpest, and a medium differential ball hooks modestly, and then mildly for a low differential ball. Low differential balls are good when you don't want the ball hooking dramatically. A lot of the high rev players use that. Or if the lanes are very dry and you don't want the ball grabbing and hooking out of control or unpredictably. So there's a combination of RG and differential that works well. And what describes that combination best is when we start considering length potential and hook potential. Simply think of length potential as how far the ball will skid before it develops a strong roll potential due to the overall construction of the ball, the core and the cover stock combination. And the same with the core and cover stock combination for hook potential. From the break point to the pocket, what kind of hook potential does a ball possess? So you can try to visualize in your mind matching it to the lane condition you're going to encounter. Now, of course, there's other useful terms that pertain to the lane. For example, break point. And that usually refers to the point on the lane where the ball routinely changes direction and begins to hook toward the pocket. Usually, the break point is 5 to 7 feet past the end of the distance the oil machine applies oil to the lane surface. So that means on a longer oil pattern, the break point, if the oil's applied, say, 42 feet, the break point may be somewhere around 48 feet. And on a shorter oil application process, that might be 42 feet when the machine stops and the rest of the lane, therefore, is a dry back in. Then the break point might be at 48 feet. So if on a short oil, the ball has a longer distance to hook on a dry back in, so the break point moves closer to the edge of the lane, doesn't it? So at the same hook angle, you don't want it going across the head pin, you want it to arrive in the pocket. On longer oil pattern, the break point moves closer to the center lane because the ball travels on a dry back end for a shorter distance. Makes sense? Now, also in addition to break point, when we discuss the lane conditions, we talk about the back end. We hear that a lot, front end, mid lane, back end. Makes sense. We kind of divide it mentally into 1/3 sections. The back end of the portion is where, we know the oil ends and continues from the break point or where the oil ends to the pin deck. And the back end of the lane typically refers to where the ball changes direction at the break point on a dry surface and continues at a given angle of entry based on the bowling ball that you throw and your release capability into the pins. And it's determined by the hook potential rating of the bowling ball. So keep an eye out for hook potential and length potential ratings. And in fact, we've got numerous articles at bowlingball.com and also videos that you can watch, wonderful videos of some of the latest equipment rolling down the lane, and you can actually watch the ball motion and the ball changes when they talk about bowling balls with low, high, medium RG, different layout patterns, drilling patterns, and so on. And that's very helpful. We hope some of these tips help you today. And while you're visiting, take a couple extra moments, please, and look at the wonderful inventory of products that we have to offer. If you find something you wish to purchase, simply follow the easy-to-order online instructions. And remember, our store is always open, and we thank you for visiting bowlingball.com.